everyone, it's Karen with Yes Please PaperCrafts, and today I'm going to be doing a scrapbook layout for the blogspot.com sketch challenge for the month of April. And for this layout, I'm going to be using this sketch, and in addition to using the sketch, I also need to use a floral pattern paper and a butterfly on my layout. And I'm going to be using, I think, 2 pictures and maybe something over here. I don't think I'll put a picture there. I might just put some kind of another element there. I'm also going to definitely be putting a circle and maybe a tag. And I think this sketch is really cool. So I hope you will join in on this month's challenge, and I'll leave a link in the description below to the blogspot.com website if you want to go out there and check it out. And all the rules and everything that you need are out there, and you can go and find it. So I hope you will participate in this month's challenge. You have until April the 29th to upload your a picture of your layout to the website. And I think it's just so much fun to do these different sketch challenges. So for this challenge, I'm going to be using these 2 pictures, and these pictures are quite old. This is a picture of my mom and my nephew Chris, and Chris is now in high school. So these are, I think he might have been about 3 years old, and maybe 2 or 3 years old in these pictures. And I think they're really cute. So I'm going to use these 2 pictures. And when I was looking at the pictures, and I saw like it's really a lot of neutral colors, and then they're both wearing this really light color of blue and like darker navy pants. And I immediately thought of this collection. I got this collection from, I think this is Carta, is it? I'm not sure if, yeah, it's Carta. This is a Carta collection, and it was part of an Echo Park club kit that I got a few months back, and I haven't used it yet. So I'm really excited about using this kit for this layout, and I think the colors go really well. The Echo Park kit is a kit that comes out every other month, and so it's only 6 times a year, and I think it costs $29.99 with free shipping, and you get a whole bunch of stuff. You get the collection kit, plus it came with some ephemera, some enamel dots, a stamp set, the 6x6 paper pad, some washi tape, and also the chipboard accents. So you get a lot in their kits, and it's really a lot of fun to get them because I never know what it's going to be, and it's kind of a surprise when it comes. I think they do advertise it on the website, and so if you wanted to, you could go take a peek and find out what's coming, but I kind of like to be surprised. Alright, so I don't think I'm going to be using the stamp set for this, but I'm going to definitely be using the papers and these embellishments. So the first thing I think I want to do is go ahead and find some paper, and then we can go ahead and get started with this layout. Okay, so I think I want to do something where I use a floral. Well, I have to use a floral pattern paper as part of my challenge. So let's go ahead and pick out that first. And I know they do have several florals in this paper pad, and here's one. So that would be one choice. Let's see what else we have here. This is a really pretty collection. I think that I love the Carta paper too. It's just gorgeous paper. I love the way it feels. Okay, and we have that one. We have these bows, and then on the back of that is some signs. And I could try to use something like this as the element that's right here on the page. I could try to see if I could find a cut apart to use. Okay. We also have this stripe. I love this stripe, so I might have to use that. And then on the back of that is some tags. Okay, then we have this. Here's another floral. It's a darker floral though. And on the back of that one is some little canisters and kitchen scales. Such a cute collection. Okay, here's some border strips. And then on the back of that one is a plaid. I don't know, this paper doesn't look like it's going to repeat. That's kind of cool. Oh, here's another floral. And then a wood grain. A lot of times they'll give you 2 papers, and so you'll have 2 of each, and you can use each side. But this kit looks like it's all different papers, which is kind of cool. Okay, so we have this one with the wreath on one side and then a polka dot on the other side. And then a plaid on this side. And we have this one here on that side. Here's another floral. I'm still leaning toward this floral here. I just like the brightness of it. I think the colors would go better with my pictures. And then we have that plaid. Oh, and then this is my white cardstock. I'm going to use to map my pictures. Okay. I think definitely this floral here, I'm going to have to use that. I think that goes really well with my pictures. And I really like the plaid. Where did that go? It was like a green or blue-green plaid. I think it was on the back of this paper. Nope, that's a floral. I would be wrong. Let's see. Where did it go? There's so many different papers here. That's really cool that they gave us so many different designs, but it makes it really difficult to know which side to use because you only have one of each paper. I have the stripe. Was it the stripe that I saw that I really liked? I think it might have been. This plaid is pretty, but I think it competes too much with that floral. I think the stripe would go much better. That's going to be really pretty. Okay, so I think I'm going to use that for my papers. I'm going to use this to map my pictures. And I think we're good with that. And then I have lots of different embellishments to use here. Now the only other thing that I want to kind of figure out before I get started is I want something to use for this part of my layout, and then maybe a tag. And they also have these other paper strips here, so maybe I'll pull in some of the other papers as well, or maybe some of this that's in this paper pad here. Let me go ahead and open this up. Alrighty then. Okay. Well, that's pretty. So we have this darker, let me bring in my papers again here. And we will take a look at this paper pad and see if there's anything that we can use for just extra papers here, as well as that square on the side over there. Or the tag. I could also possibly pull in one of these papers for a tag. Really, really cute. Here's a smaller version of this floral paper. I'm going to get rid of this sticky. One of the nice things about the Echo Park paper pads is that those stickers usually come off pretty easily. It doesn't leave any sticky residue on your paper, which is really cool. Okay. So this looks like it's repeating. There's 2 of each one of these sheets. And I didn't really see anything that would be good as a cut apart. I could make something and use one of the stickers. I was kind of hoping there would be something in here I could just put on there and be, it'd just be kind of something finished, but I don't see anything like that here. A lot of these sayings have to do with home, and there's no place like home. It doesn't really fit my layout. So I might have to try to find that from somewhere else. Okay. Let's see what we have on the chipboard here. I really wish one of these things like this had a better saying on it. This is us, our life, our story, our home. Yeah. I love this collection. I love the colors, but it's not really going, none of the words are going with my layout. Although I really love that little floral right there, and I could probably use that. I definitely think I can use some of the images from this chipboard. Okay, we also have these frames and tags. Maybe there'll be something in here. Kind of hard for me to read that, it's so tiny. I'm just going to go ahead and take it out and see what we got. Okay, we had this little thing, bless this home, a lot more home sayings. I guess that's what this is all about, gather together. That's possible that I could use that one. Let's see, welcome to our home, find beauty in all things. The magical thing about home. Okay. There's also some tags here. Homemade with love, welcome, bless this house. Okay, this is our life, our story. All right, I might have to go and find something from somewhere else for that part of my layout, but that's okay. Okay, so I'm going to stop scrapping and start, no, I'm going to, I always say that wrong. I'm going to stop talking and start scrapping, and I will speed this up and do a voiceover and talk you through my layout. So let's go ahead and get started. So I'm going to start this layout by looking for a project life card. I really wanted something to go over in that space next to my two pictures. And I have this bin, it's from Target. It's the narrow medium basket. It's a Y-weave basket from Room Essentials. And I just have a bunch of these project life cards in there. And it's one of the things I still need to organize. They are in no order, and it's very difficult to sort through these because they're kind of a mess. I did have them at some point buy the different Project Life kits, but as I have moved them around and I look through them, they get more and more disorganized. And so one of these days I'm going to organize those, and I think I might put them by color and then also maybe by theme if there's anything like specific, like maybe birthday or something. So yeah, I really do need to organize this. But what I do when I'm looking through these is I just pull out a stack, almost like a deck of cards, and I just flip through it until I find something that I think might work on my layout. And I did pull, I think, 4 different Project Life cards. I just mainly went by the color and just pulled those out. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and work on my pictures, and I decided to trim these pictures down. I wanted them to be, I think, about 3 by 5, just because I did want to have space to put that Project Life card. Okay, so now that I have picked out a couple of those Project Life cards, I'm going to go back and look at the sketch, and I'm trying to figure out here how to cut down my papers. And then I realized that I probably needed to add an additional paper down there. They had a paper that was behind the other papers. So I'm going to go back and look through this different papers and just kind of see what I could find that would go with the papers that I have selected. And I kind of thought about that polka dot, but I think I'm going to go with the wood grain. So I decided to pick that wood grain because I thought it went really well with this layout. In the pictures, my nephew is running around in front of this structure at the playground, and it's all wood, so I thought that that would really go well with my layout. I also love the color combination of this teal blue with the brown, and so I really think that this is a really beautiful color combination. This is my favorite color. I love anything that's blue-green or green-blue. Anything that's kind of, you know, both blue and green, I love. So I'm going to start cutting up the papers, and I'm just trying to figure out the size. And I did cut that one paper wrong, so I'm just going to go ahead and cut a little bit bigger of a piece. I am trying to follow the sketch, and so that's why I decided to add this additional paper. And I'm just trying to figure out what size it should be. And sometimes that's a little bit of a challenge when you're working with a sketch and there's no measurements on the sketch. But I usually just start with something like the pictures, and I looked at that and I thought, well, the pictures look like they're about 3 by 5. And then I base everything else that I cut based on those measurements. And usually it works out pretty good, but sometimes I make mistakes. And I think when I did cut that initially, the stripe paper, I was actually looking at the measurement of the width of the picture instead of the height. And I really should have measured that based on the height of the picture. So I'm trying to figure out here what to do about my background, and so I'm going to look through the paper one more time. And I came across this paper. It was like I'm trying to think of what that's called. It's not a wood grain. I remember it from that HGTV show with Chip and Joanna Gaines. What's that show called? Fixer Upper. I think it's called Shiplap. That's what it's called. It's like a painted wood. And so I pulled that paper. And you know, when I was going back and editing this video, I realized that there was another paper in that collection that was just all the shiplap paper. And I wish I would have known that, because I would have used that paper instead. But I'm not going to waste the bottom of the paper where I have that little flower cart. I am going to be piecing this together, because this is Carta paper, and I can't waste even a small piece of this paper. It's just too pretty. Okay, so I'm going to now look through here looking for some paper to use for my circle element at the top. And so I decided on this polka dot. It's a really dark blue with a lighter blue polka dot and really tiny polka dots. I'm going to use this Martha Stewart circle cutter, and I think I set it to, I can't remember, it was like 6 inches. And I'm going to cut a circle. And I got the idea as I was doing this. I'm thinking I really wanted a ring more than a circle, because I think just having the big circle there would have been really dark at the top of the layout. And so while I was cutting that circle, I just moved the measurement and a little bit, like 1/4 of an inch. And I didn't pick my hand up. I kept the pressure on there to make sure that I stayed in the center, and I actually created that ring. And then I have an extra circle there that I can use on another layout. So that was pretty cool. That worked out pretty good. I was really happy with myself. And I did stand up to do that. I think it was a little bit easier standing up, because I could apply even pressure to keep that tool centered on the circle. Okay, so I decided that I would cut my pictures down just a little bit more to give myself some space, because I'm going to use not one, but 2 project light cards. I'm going to use this one that says "Remember This," and I'm going to tuck it under the photo on the left, and then I'm going to use that other one on the right. And I did decide, instead of using the white cardstock, I brought in some cream cardstock, because I used that background that looked like shiplap, and so I needed to kind of take that into consideration when matting my pictures. And I really do love using this color. I think it has a really warm tone, and it goes really well with the rest of the papers in my layout. So here I'm just taking these We Are Memory Keepers layering guides, and I'm creating a border around these pictures. And I did leave a little bit of a space there in the middle. I did think about putting the pictures together, but I just decided I liked it better with that space. And so I thought that was really cute. Okay, so now here's some really ugly paper. I have some really old paper that I've had for many, many years. And whenever I want to join 2 different papers to make a background, I will pull out some ugly pattern paper and use it to kind of piece my layout together. So I'm just going to glue this paper onto the top of the layout there. And then I'm going to glue the wood grain paper to the bottom. And that way I don't waste any of my really pretty Carta paper, because we don't want to waste that. That's the good stuff. So, okay, so I am kind of struggling a little bit with this, getting this in evenly, because when I went to put that wood grain paper down, it was going on crooked, so I didn't really have that lined up very well. Okay, so once I get my background kind of situated, I'm going to start putting all of this on the layout and just getting an idea of how I want all this to kind of be arranged on the layout. And I'm really loving that dark circle there at the top. I just think that looks so awesome. I was really happy I decided to try to make a ring instead of a circle. And I'm just going to go ahead and take some liquid glue and glue that down, and then start gluing down all my papers. So I'm just going to tuck this project light card behind the picture, and so I cut part of it off because I can always use that somewhere else on another layout. I do like to do that sometimes if I'm going to be, you're not going to be seeing most of something. I will cut it off and save it for later. I wanted to add some more dimension to my layout, and so I'm putting some foam tape on the back of this project light card, and that little card says "Enjoy the little things." And I thought that was such a cute saying for this layout. I really wanted to use that chipboard flower piece, but I ended up taking it off my layout. Just when I started adding additional embellishments, I just couldn't find a place to put it. So I'm going to look through the rest of this collection. I'm looking at the stickers and the different papers in the paper pad and all these little ephemeras from the die pack. And I wasn't really finding a whole lot because a lot of this has words on it that doesn't really fit my layout. And I did try maybe, you know, putting a tag here and just different things, and I just really wasn't finding a whole lot. I think I even did try looking through this little 6x6 paper pad, and then I thought, well, maybe I can put some washi on there, and I tried that. I'm also going to look through these buttons or flares. I made all these flares with my new button maker, and I did do a little demo of that in one of my previous videos. If you're interested, I will leave a link in the description below, and I will put the link so that when you click on the link, it will go straight to the part with the demo. And that's such a cool tool. It is a little bit expensive, but I'm so happy to have made that purchase because it is so much fun to make those flares. So I decided to try to bring in some additional embellishments, and I have these stickers that I purchased from Tuesday Mornings, and I also probably got some of those at Hobby Lobby as well. I think most of these did come from Tuesday Morning though. And I love these stickers. They're very dimensional, and they have all kinds of different treatments. There's like cork and wood, like wood veneers, and there's metallic foiling and just different things. And so I did look through here and just try to see if I could find something that would go with my layout. And I came across these Cork Arrows, and I thought, wouldn't that be really cool? Because I have my nephew running, and then there's a circular element at the top of the layout. As you come around, there's that Project Life card, and then those arrows make your eye travel back toward the left side of the layout and back to my nephew. So I love doing that when you have circles. I think circles are a really cool element on a layout, and it really does give a lot of movement to your page. It makes your eye travel around the layout. Okay, so I'm going to pull in some of these, they're like wood veneer letters, and I think that's from Pink Fresh Studio. And I'm just going to go ahead and spell out Playground Fun. I didn't have enough space to put fun there at the top, and so I just decided that I would put it there inside the circle. I thought that was kind of cool. I also found a little canvas, like a piece there that says you plus me or you and me, and also another one that was fabric that had gold metallic writing that said love this. And I thought those were really cool. I love those stickers. Those are from Mementa, and you can actually find those at Hobby Lobby. And that's I've gotten them there before, especially when they put them on clearance. They're a really awesome deal. I'm working on my title, and I decided to add this leftover piece of the Project Life card there at the top of my layout. It gave me the perfect place to put my title. And so I was really happy that I cut that off because I did find a use for it, and I loved it. It kind of added just a little bit something to the top of my layout. And I'm just trying to get that centered. I think of all the things that you do when you're creating a scrapbook layout, I really don't like having to put little letters in a row. It's just, it takes so long, and I just really get frustrated with it sometimes because sometimes it's really hard to line those letters up. It was easy to line the fun up though because it was right at the edge of that striped paper. I did not have enough space to put the fun on the Project Life card there at the top. So rather than having it go off of the Project Life card, I decided to put it down inside the circle, and I thought that was kind of cute that the title kind of goes around the circle as well. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead and start gluing more of this down, and I'm really loving the way that this layout is coming out. It's not anything like what I thought it was going to be when I started, but that's okay because I think you just have to kind of adapt to things as you put things on your layout. Sometimes things that you had there may not work anymore, and so like I took that floral off. I tried to put it back on there again, but I'm going to keep putting it there and taking it off, and I finally decided that I liked my layout better without it, so I did just decide to leave it off. So I'm going to glue down this little word there, and I think it said happy. It's so tiny, I'm having a hard time reading. I'm pretty sure it says happy there, and it's in a really dark blue color, and I thought that was kind of cool because you can read it as happy fun. And I'm going through and looking at these, this is little Puffy stickers that I got from the Dollar Tree, and they're little trees. And so I thought it'd be really cool to add a few of those trees on my layout. And so I do move those around quite a bit. I really wanted to use those trees, and I ended up taking them off my layout because I only really had 2 trees that were kind of in the same color family as the rest of the things on my layout, and I didn't want to add a tree that had this bright green. And since I only had 2 trees that went with my color scheme, I end up going back and changing it out for something else. So I do love those puffy stickers though. They're more like gel, or they almost look like stained glass, and they're really cool. I found a couple of things there at the Dollar Tree that were like that. I think I have a set of birds as well. Okay, so I'm going to go here and I'm looking for some additional things to add to my layout. And I looked at wanted to add some more brown or cork to kind of tie those arrows in more. And so I did add a cork heart there above the fun. I'm using the enamel dots that came with the collection, and I used a combination of the cream color, a light blue, and a teal. And I love using 3 different colors of enamel dots on my layouts, and I just put different sizes as well and just kind of vary that with each cluster. So I'm just going to go ahead and hold my layout up. I like to do that because it kind of gives me a different perspective. And that's when I decided that I wasn't really sure about these little trees. And I did try to move them around to try to see if I could figure out a better way to put those on my layout. I did kind of like the one at the top, but the one at the bottom, it just didn't fit there. I did try to add a snail there on the left, but I didn't like the way that looked either. It kind of made it look really dark because I was putting that snail, which was kind of transparent, on top of that darker blue color. So I'm going to decide not to use the snails and put those away. And I started looking for something else to put there. I wanted to kind of add something there over there by that Project Life card. And I pulled out these Puffy stickers from the Little by Little collection. That's from Chamel. And I looked through there and I found a couple of different things there that went really well with my layout. I found some little owls and also some cameras. And so I put the owl there and did try out some of these Vicky Bouton enamel shapes, but I didn't like anything from that. And so I kind of go back and forth with these little puffy stickers from the Chamel collection and the little trees. And I did eventually end up putting 2 owls and then a camera on my layout instead of the trees. And I really thought that I really love the trees, but I really think that the puffy stickers just went so much better with all of the things that I had going on with this layout. And so I'm going to just go ahead and put those trees back onto the sticker sheet and save them for another layout. And I'm going to use these puffy stickers instead. And I just love those little puffy stickers. They just were such a cute touch on this layout. Okay, so I'm looking at my layout, just making sure everything looks okay. And then I remembered that I needed to follow the rules and I needed to add a butterfly to this layout. So I pulled out these wood veneer butterflies. One side is painted and the other side is just a plain wood. And I did decide that I would use the wood side, and I'm just going to go ahead and glue that onto my layout. I started to glue that one, and then I said, well, if I'm going to use the wood side, I need to pick one of the ones that I don't like as much, and so I picked out a different color to add. So that pretty much finishes this layout. I do have some close-up pictures at the very end if you want to stick around for that. So if you like this video, please give it a like, and if you would like to see more videos, please subscribe. I'd love to have you join my channel. And that's all I have for today's video. So y'all take care, and we'll see you next time. Bye now.